is up, guys? Welcome to our final Brad Powers College Football release show of the season at Covers and on YouTube. But that also means it's bowl season. It's our favorite time of year. First, for those of you who are new, please go on and hit that like and subscribe button. Second, quickly before we get underway here, Brad, one not so betting question, and we'll then another handicapping one following. First of all, Brad, do you think the committee got the field right for the college football playoff right this season?
Yeah, I think they got it right. I think most of the time they get it right, as far as at least the right teams. I mean, maybe a little surprised that Ohio State's not 3, but I get it. But they got the right 4 teams. I don't think they had a lot of good choices this year. I mean, I think Ohio State, getting beat by 3 touchdowns in their last game at home isn't a good look. But, I mean, who are you going to put in there above them? Alabama, who's lost 2 games. You're not putting a 2-loss team in the playoffs. So good job by the committee.
Yeah, it was a weird season. There just wasn't many other candidates outside of Ohio State, is what I would say.
It would be a good year for the BCS. You had 2
yes.
You had 2 great teams, Georgia and Michigan.
And that would be straight. That would be the final right then and there. And obviously they didn't want to have that Michigan-Ohio State semifinal again. So I think that's kind of why we got that ranking there as well. Second, Brad, what is the main tip you would give bettors when it comes to handicapping bowl games?
Great question. It's the question. I would say it's one word: motivation. Now, people watching this are going, well, how do you handicap that? How do you quantify it? Well, I'll say this. Again, you don't have to be Einstein to figure some of this out. What you're looking for is just look at your early draft boards. I would say in the non-New Year's and the non-playoff games, likely those guys that are projected to be first and second round draft picks in the upcoming draft, they're not going to play in the bowl game. So take them out of the team power rating. Look for interim coaches. I think, you could say, you want to play for the interim, against the interim. I think in today's day and age, you play against the interim because, I think there's a substitute teacher effect. I don't think the kids care that much. I don't think the kids are going to play in the game. I think you'll see a lot of transfer portal and kids leaving early. So I personally am going to be fading a lot of the teams with the interim coaches. And then you just look at preseason expectations. Team, did they overachieve and they're excited to be in a bowl game, a la like a Connecticut, a Bowling Green, a Kansas? Or is it a team that, had lofty preseason expectations and, probably aren't excited? Here's a good example: Alabama, a team that not only probably loses NFL draft picks early, but also probably can't be too thrilled to be playing in the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State.
I think the line says they're not thrilled to be playing there. Just 4.5 point favorites against the Wildcats in this one. Okay, guys. So let's get to today's bet. I'll go over how we're going to go through the procedure here. Simple process, so we can get the bet from Brad to you as quickly as possible. I'm going to start by telling you what time the game is we are betting and the date, because we've got a massive bowl schedule here. Next, I'll tell you what game we are betting. Then I'll let you know whether it's a side or a total. And finally, I will reveal the bet. I'll give 10 to 15 seconds for each section, but 3 and 4 will go a little more quickly because these numbers move rather fast, and we want to give you the best opportunity to get those numbers in. So you all set, Brad?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, our bet today is in the 8 p.m. Eastern time slot on Saturday, December 31st. So that's New Year's Eve for you guys. Once again, 8 p.m. Eastern time slot, Saturday, December 31st. So you've got better plans this New Year's Eve than having to go out and celebrate. We can stay home and watch college football instead. The game is rotation number 274, Ohio State versus Georgia, and that's the Peach Bowl. One more time, game rotation number 274, Ohio State versus Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Give you a few more seconds there to highlight that game, guys. Okay, and we are betting a total. We are betting a total for the Peach Bowl, and that total is over 61. Once again, that is over 61 in the Peach Bowl between Ohio State and Georgia. Okay, guys, so let us know in the chat what number you got and where you got it at. Brad, Georgia, number one ranked team in the country. Their gift for that is Ohio State, who many people had as the number one team in the country for a while. So why are we looking at the over here today?
Yeah, so I'll start with the Ohio State side of things. Two reasons on the Ohio State side. We'll start with the negative, and that's I question Ohio State's defense against the two best offenses they faced this season, Penn State and Michigan. They got run over, allowed nearly 500 yards against Penn State, allowed more than 500 yards in a bunch of big plays to Michigan, and I think Georgia could gash them in the run game because I just haven't seen Ohio State's defense step up the last couple of years. On the positive side for Ohio State, this would be the healthiest they've been arguably all season. And whether that includes Jackson Smith and Jigba or not, I think it can only be a positive. If he's in the lineup, that's great for Ohio State. If he isn't, they're used to playing without him all year. But more importantly, the two running backs, their top two running backs for the Buckeyes that have been banged up all year, they'll be healthy. And I think you'll get obviously a very motivated Ohio State team trying to rebound. I think if the line would have stayed 7 as far as the side, I would be giving out Ohio State +7 here because I do think it's an Ohio State team that we see like what we expected to see all season. So had that line stuck, we'd have been on the side. If not, I think the total coincides with me, kind of leaning towards the Buckeye side. I think their offense is going to have a lot of success. And, if you watch Georgia's defense in the second half, I think even if Ohio State's trailing early, they're going to be throwing late, just like LSU was. And I'm here to tell you, Ohio State's quarterback's better than LSU's backup quarterback.
Yeah, they not a normal performance from that Georgia defense, but obviously they have shown they're capable of shutting down teams this season, including guys like Tennessee in matchups this season. Will that Georgia defense? I feel like they flip a switch. It's a very weird team. They kind of play with their food a bit. The Bulldogs do. How do you handle that sort of situation with a team that has shown that they can be the best team in the nation?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, this isn't like week 1 where we're doing a MAC game as far as value. I mean, I made it 63, so we don't have too much wiggle room here. And you're right, that would be if you're going against me and debating this, that would be the con towards my handicap here, and that Georgia probably after getting passed on big time in that second half will be extremely motivated to play a full 60 minutes. Again, I think if they get up big, I think Ohio State will be throwing. And again, even if they are more motivated than what they were against LSU, I think Ohio State's offense will have success here. I know they can flip on a switch. I know they're healthier with Jalen Carter up front, but I still think Ohio State has the best offense in the country when healthy.
And this was the matchup. Many people thought this might be the national championship at some point this season. So we're getting it in the semifinals. I kind of agree with you there. I was impressed with what LSU was able to do against that Georgia defense in that game. And like you said, Jackson Smith and Jigba being healthy is a huge boon for that wide receiver room that is already stacked to the brim with great NFL draft caliber wide receivers. I like the over here as well. So there you have it. One more time, Ohio State, Georgia, over 61. Guys, thanks so much for joining us all season long. One more time, please hit that like and subscribe button. And while this is our final release show of the year, just to let you guys know that Brad and I will be doing preview videos for all 41 bowl games, and those are going to start dropping this week. So keep your eye out for those. For now, thanks again, and good luck with all your bets.